Hello, it is Hannah from Hannah Customs Andover. Yay, got it right this time. Right, okay. Some of you are aware of this particular project and others aren't. For the others who don't honestly know what on earth is this, what project's going on here, basically there's a C5 here. I've actually bought the whole back end and the engine and parts and things like that. Basically, as you can see down here, it was involved in an accident. The whole chassis on this sort of passenger size has taken a really big hit. I mean, if you have a quick look at the bumper, not the bumper, the bonnet, you can see how bad the impact was. Lucky enough, everything else under the bonnet is in perfect working order. Lucky enough, the airbags didn't go off or anything like that, which is even a bonus. So basically, what I'm doing is I've bought the whole back end up to about here. I'm literally going to cut it straight down the middle and then stick a tow bar onto it, so I can then tow it behind my C5 over there. The whole point is obviously, as you're aware, that majority of the car shows next year are going to be up north. I don't fancy taking my caravan all the way up there, so I thought, you know what, I'll build something slightly different and yeah, I'll probably take this up instead. So my whole plan for this C5 project, which I've nicknamed it C5 Caravan, is once all this has all been sorted out, I'm going to put a double bed in the bottom there and a TV and a few other bits and pieces, just to basically just keep me comfortable while sleeping. You could probably say it's the next stage up from camping, or next stage up from sleeping in a tent, really. I've got quite a lot of back issues, so yeah, I've really got to be careful on what I build and if I lay in it and stuff like that. Right, so the whole purpose of this video is basically for me to show you that I've actually managed to get the rear suspension working fully using the original pump, the original hydro pump that came with the car, and also using the original control panel as well. So when I got this car, there was no wheels at all. My dad and myself had donated our spare wheels out of our car to fit this, and I've got a pair of steel wheels that's going to replace the alloy wheels that we've used. So basically, if you can see, I've got a brick under the wheel and there's two bricks with a smaller brick on the car. Now if I give this a tug, as you can see, I can't shift it at all. It's not budging, the whole car is resting on it. Now I've actually wired this button up so that when you actually activate the pump, the sports button actually lights up. There is a few other lights and things in there, they just wasn't bright enough. So I wanted to be able to tell if the pump is running or not. So with a further ado, let's see if we can raise this car up. So I'm hitting the red button. As you can see, the orange light comes on. The car is slowly going up. And oh look, I can move that. And there is a bit of a gap. And then obviously, to lower it down, you just hit the bottom button and the car is lowering itself to the point of I can't move that, it's solid. So just a quick recap. Here's basically the sports button. I did quite a lot of wiring. I had to work out which wire did what, and all the other bits and pieces. That then goes into the pump down there. Now if you look at here, there's tons and tons of wiring. Now please please be assured that just by connecting that switch to that pump, you can't guarantee it's always going to work, because the pump has ECU built in on the top. I've actually taken the ECU out and put my own electronics in there, so that the pump will now physically work as it should when I hit the button. All these pipes, as you can see, are all the leak off pipes. You know, they come from the spheres, and also the pump, it just goes back into the reservoir. I've linked some blue hose that I got from work, goes up into the top here, and here's the well, most of you would actually recognise that. It's actually the coolant hose, or the coolant bottle off the engine. Now I was going to use the original coolant, not the coolant, the hydro pump bottle, but unfortunately it's far too big and too much of a pain to try and plumb in. So I thought, you know what, I'll flush that out and I'll use that instead. And I'll tell you what, that fits really neatly on that little shelf there. Obviously all the panels and everything else will go all back in, and then obviously you see the reservoir on the top where the window is. But you know what, I want to see exactly what fluid I've got in there. I don't really want to hide it away or anything like that. And all this runs off a leisure battery. This leisure battery is an AGM battery, so it is designed for like motor movers and stuff like that in caravans. So that pump is more than more than enough power for this battery, you know. So ladies and gents, I'm not going to bore you any further, but I just wanted to show you this video just to prove that, look, I've got this suspension on, on key, everything works as it should. And yeah, to all the other people out there who said it can't be done, I think tonight just proves that you can actually make this thing work. Anyway, ladies and gents, I'll speak to you soon. Take care.